Yo, what's going on, guys? It's time for another reaction video, and Stephanie is back here to join me again. You might recognize her from Brazilians React. Her and her brother were here recently. She wanted to do a little bit more countries and culture, so today we are checking out Australians giant rock lobsters, hand-caught Tasmanian seafood, and this is coming from the YouTube channel Best Ever Food Review Show. So if you like this video, definitely go check out their YouTube channel as well. You ready to get into this stuff?
Let's do it.
All right. Hopefully we'll see some good food.
Yes.
Awesome Australian food adventure. We traveled Western Australia, where we ate exotic sea turtle meat with the Aboriginal community.
That tastes like 4 different animals: chicken, pork, fish, frog. In that order.
Now, we're headed across this giant continent to the island of Tasmania. This island state has a population of only 500,000, but it boasts some of the most impressive edible wildlife anywhere. On land,
possum is a very dense meat, so it does need a nice, long, slow braise.
It's like better than pulled pork. How?
And in the sea.
Nothing better than
lots of exotic food.
Yeah, like, did you see them saying like turtle meat? Like,
yeah.
What it tastes like? Like, I've never tasted that before.
Me either. I don't think it's something I would want to probably
taste. Kind of weird.
But and possum too, like
possum.
That's like gamey, it would seem.
Yeah, let's see.
It looks like normal meat there, but
it's a nice, long, slow braise.
It's like better than pulled pork. How?
And in the sea.
Nothing better than just eating something that you've caught.
Today, we're on a mission to explore what creatures lurk in the pristine waters that surround this island. From marine life caught by hand,
It's one of the best meat textures out there.
to a large-scale seafood factory, processing thousands of pounds of ocean meat per month.
How popular is eating shark in Australia?
This succulent seafood lover's dream begins right here on the coast.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here today.
We have an absolute treat for you guys. We have been out on a hunt, a couple of days out at sea, about 50 kilometers offshore at one point, and we have gathered some fantastic Tassie treats for you.
This is Tim. He works as a director of photography, and Chris here is a retired veteran. They each have their own YouTube channels where they showcase a passion for diving and thrilling adventures around the island of Tasmania.
So catching all this stuff, are you using the same method?
Pretty much, we were both diving on a compressor, which is a hose running to us underwater so we can take our time down there.
Yeah, you've got to use your hands down here. We can't use any utensils, no spears, nothing like that. So it's purely just with your mitts.
How many creatures are in both of these eskies right now?
We've got 3 unshucked abalone in here and about 4 shucked abalone.
We'd have 8 odd crayfish in here. Dare I say it's the biggest crayfish or lobster that you've shown on your show so far.
Gentlemen, I think it's time for some show and tell.
Let's get into it. Okay.
Our first catch is a worldwide luxury product, and the best of its kind can be found in the coastal waters of Tasmania. This is the black lip abalone. These sea critters are masters of disguise, blending in with ordinary rocks. But once you spot one, all it takes is a flick of the knife to pop it off.
And what we've got here.
Dude, that is a huge ass abalone.
Soon, we'll get a taste of this opulent delicacy.
Pound for pound, the abalone is one of
Okay, do you think that could taste like oysters? What is that exactly?
hopefully they'll tell us. I can tell you exactly that I wouldn't eat it, but
Yeah, because I know you don't like oysters, okay? But I wonder, like, what, like, is it like a shell, a seashell? Like, did they open it up? Like, what is that?
it looks kind of like a suction.
Suction? Or
Because like, yeah, you know, like sucking onto the rock. So I don't think that that's the same way or that an oyster would be. Yeah. So like what I'm trying to, like the meat and the muscle or whatever you want to call it might be different.
Wow, I've never seen that before.
I've heard of abalonias. I don't know anything about them. I mean, I just seen them on cooking shows and stuff, but
yeah,
we'll have to see in a little bit if they eat it raw or if they prepare it somehow.
Yeah, let's see how I do.
one of the best meat textures out there. It's so dense, it's like a goat heart. That's a pretty good catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's close it up.
Did he just compare it to a goat heart?
We'll get a taste of this opulent delicacy.
Pound for pound, the abalone is one of the best meat textures out there. It's so dense, it's like a goat heart. That's a pretty good catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's close it up.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this one.
Tim?
Alrighty, well, this is a full day on the water. I really hope you enjoy the size of these runs, and they are just so beautiful. We love these creatures down here.
You've hyped this up quite a bit.
Now, we've set our sights on the grand prize, the infamous Tasmanian rock lobster. As Tim and Chris dive deeper, the temperature plummets and sunlight fades. Our target is a hide-and-seek master, using the rugged landscape to stay out of sight. Once spotted, the real challenge is actually catching them. Without hesitation, you must zero in, make your move, and grab it.
Wow.
Holy shit!
What? That's about a 3.5 kilo crate.
Dude, that is crazy. That's
I mean, look at the size of that thing, guys. Like, seriously. Like, look at that.
It's
Like,
huge.
Do you know how much meat there must be, like, inside of it? Like, I don't think they have that in the U.S., do they?
Not the same way, because the ones we have here would have the claws on the front. And you notice these don't have the pinchers.
Yeah.
So it's just a different breed per se. Now, whether or not we have American, I don't want to call it American lobsters because I don't even know where lobsters come from. I think they come from up north, northern region. But I don't know. I would imagine they could get that big because I think lobsters can live like crazy, like 20, 50 years or
Really?
something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, like that's huge, man. That's massive.
It is.
That tail, like
That's like-
usually you would
like
crack a
just-
tail for like one person. That's a tail for probably like 3 or 4
I
people.
know, just the tail is like huge. Okay, let's see.
easily the biggest crayfish I've ever seen.
With a seriously tough shell and the ability to regenerate lost legs, this creature is not just a feast for the eyes, but a delicious conquest for those who dare to pluck it from the salty depths.
Wow, gentlemen, you've outdone yourselves. This is fantastic. I cannot wait to see what kind of delicious food this gets made into. Let's do it.
Here you go. They're going to answer your question of how they prepare this.
Let's see what
It just
happens.
looks disgusting, but
It does look weird, not gonna lie, but I think it's promising. You could have a good taste.
it looks like tar.
Tar.
So first thing I'm going to do is shuck this. You just use a butter knife and then put your thumb in there and open it up like that. And you're left with this beautiful shell. So now I'm just going to rip these guts off. And then
You imagine that dude's alive. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna rip his guts off."
Yeah.
You can't put. How do you put it
just
out of its
rip it
misery? Ugh.
I'm just cutting the mouth of this abalone. So the reason we cut the mouth out is these are a filter-eating mussel, so we want to get rid of all the bad stuff. We're left with this mussel here. If we just cook these like this, it's going to be really rubbery and not the greatest texture. Give it a nice good bash, and then you can see how much softer it is. A lot easier to eat. Comes up much better for us.
The pragmatically tenderized abalone gets a thorough wash with seawater. Then it's coated with a mixture of breadcrumbs, herbs, salt, and pepper.
So I like to keep it easy. Don't worry about your milk and eggs. Chuck it all in a sandwich bag and give it a good shake.
Now it's time to give these snails a sizzle. Once fried to a crunch, the abalone meat is cut into bite-sized pieces and served with fresh citrus.
That looks so good. And then like I'm impressed by the fact that they have like the grill there, like a whole kitchen, like all of that preparingness
Right there on the side.
right there on the side.
I will say visually it looks better now than it did earlier, but it's still questionable. Let's see.
Would you try it? That's
I
my
would
question.
try it, but I can't
You're like,
guarantee I would
skeptical.
like it. I'm not real big on seafood in
But
general.
it doesn't really look like oyster. Like it doesn't like
No, it
like
doesn't.
it would taste like oyster because it looks more like you said, like a mussel.
Yeah, and
you know?
even there, it almost looks more like a fish consistency,
Yeah,
or even
yeah.
should I say, it looks almost like chicken. I know it's not going to taste like chicken, but like it looks like chicken breast,
Maybe.
like white meat right here.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I don't know. It seems like it would be like rubbery, chewy.
Maybe a
salt-
little
like-
rubbery.
yeah,
But different than oyster. No, definitely different.
yeah. Let's see what they say.
Lettuce and Chris's special sauce, consisting of soy sauce, wasabi, and minced garlic.
Lots of people struggle cooking abalone, but this way, you just can't go wrong.
Cheers. That's It's a steak of the sea, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm surprised how tender it is.
His tenderizing method actually works quite effectively. Now, I do appreciate the dense texture of abalone, but this is nice too. It's just a different take that I've never experienced. It falls apart in your mouth a little bit more. Where'd you pick up this recipe?
So I actually created this just by being lazy. Yeah, it's one of my favourite ways of doing it. Nice and easy. You know, if you sort of wrap it in the lettuce, give it a bit of a dip. Look at that, that's just bloody perfect, I reckon.
That's like Korean barbecue. There you go.
I love that he said he created it just out of being lazy.
Well, I mean, looks good.
This whole island, how many people live here?
Oh, I think about 500,000 on the whole island.
I mean, there's not many people.
How far is it from mainland Australia?
240 kilometers south.
And to get off the island, you basically have to fly, right?
Swim.
Right. That's an option too. So that makes this island really unique because even though it's part of Australia, it's not that close to the mainland. And so over time, it's going to develop maybe a little bit of its own culture. How would you say Tasmania is different from mainland Australia?
The beautiful thing about Tasmania is that there are so many untouched gems here.
Tasmania, unlike mainland Australia, offers a journey back in time with its untouched wilderness and dramatic landscapes. It's a realm of rugged cliffs, dense rainforests, and relentless southern ocean waves, standing in stark contrast to the more familiar scenes of the Australian outback.
The whole uncharted, untouched, that's a big thing for me. So yeah, it's a really good place to sort of grow up and spend your years, I reckon.
We have one more course remaining.
Fresh Tasmanian lobster roll.
Lobsters this size are a bounty of sweet, rich meat. Today's recipe requires some thick, meaty tails.
Alrighty, so what we're going to do here is cook these tails for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's such a beautiful white sweet meat and it's unlike anything else from the ocean. Straight on the barbecue. Now we're just going to start slow cooking them through the pan with a little bit of garlic butter. We've also got some of these cray legs. These big fighting claws are going to be fantastic.
Now for the build. Smear on cream cheese and make a bed of chopped lettuce on which the lobster meat can rest. Get it? It's resting on a bed? Oh, fucking clever. Finally, drizzle some tangy sauce on top.
This looks gorgeous. What makes it?
Okay, you cannot tell me that you would not taste that, Melvin. Like, that looks delicious. That looks like amazingly good.
I would probably try the lobster meat on its own.
You like old lobsters or you don't?
No, I don't generally like lobster and shrimp. I don't like the sponginess of the meat.
Yeah.
It's the texture. Sometimes it's not just the flavor that I don't like.
But if it's included in a
texture.
sandwich like that with like the sauce and all, like I think you probably like it.
I'll try it. Like I'll try just about anything. You got me to try freaking chicken hearts.
No, chicken hearts are great. Okay.
But I actually liked them. But like I remember the first time you mentioned chicken hearts, I was like, maybe I heard her wrong.
Chicken hearts
or
on
maybe
the
she's
cooler.
joking or something. But then you like had a whole bowl of chicken hearts, and I was like, oh no, she was serious.
I definitely want chicken hearts as well. I love seafood, guys, but I also like chicken hearts.
That's definitely a Brazilian thing.
For sure.
In Tasmania.
I made it, and I'm Tasmanian.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
That is so good.
The bread is perfect. There's a crisp of the lettuce, then the tang of the mayonnaise inside, but man, just tons and tons of delicious lobster.
That is some of the sweetest lobster I've ever had.
Yeah, it's a really good way of cooking it like that. Easy as, just chuck it on the coals and can't go wrong.
Oh, I love how smoky it is too.
Really good.
Just a great, delicious, creative use of these local ingredients that you guys fought hard for. Do you feel the reward? I feel the reward and I didn't do anything.
Nothing better than just eating something that you've taught.
Yeah, I think
Those freaking lobsters are monster
The reward.
size.
I feel the reward and I didn't do anything.
Imagine like you actually going there, like diving in and catching them and eating them like right off like the shore, like right there. Like imagine how great that would feel. Like I would love to do that.
When I went to the Philippines, I started off in the city of Manila, but eventually we ended up in the islands in Boracay.
Yeah.
And they have kind of like a lobster as well, but it's more of like these cool green and like teal type colors. It's like really colorful, really pretty. And they catch them daily. And so when you walk along the beach there in Boracay, they start prepping like these like trays of ice, and they put all the fresh meat out there so that you can kind of like see what's going to be available for dinner in a couple hours.
Yeah, it's all fresh. Like they just got it.
Yeah, so when you see all these like really like vibrant green type colored lobster type fish or crayfish essentially, it was just really cool because I was like, wait, because that was 15 years ago for me. I was like, I didn't even know lobsters came in other colors, you know? So I think if, as much as you like lobster, I think you would like to see or maybe even taste those as well.
For sure. I love lobsters.
Better than just eating something that you've caught.
Yeah, I think it takes you back to that primal instinct of us. You know, I believe we're all animals in some way. So, you know, go catch your own food and then eat it like this. It's just perfect, isn't it?
And we've still got the legs to get into it.
Well, let's do that.
There you go.
That is wild.
Wow.
This is what you don't find on menu lobsters.
So this is an example of getting it in one piece. Sort of comes out like that,
Just go straight up.
straight down the gob.
Oh my God.
So sweet, succulent, delicious,
Still juicy.
a little bit smoky. I'm so curious, can anybody catch what you're catching here? How does that work?
You need a license to be able to fend for yourself with these guys.
Tasmania's flourishing seafood scene is attributed not only to its lively ecosystem, but also to the community's conservation efforts. For example, Tim and Chris are only allowed to catch 2 lobsters and 10 abalone in one outing.
Back in the day, like my grandfather, he'll tell you stories about him just out the front here when there was abundance more of these creatures.
So the numbers have decreased that much.
It has decreased, but over the last couple of years, conservation has kicked in and the populations are coming back quite strong.
Both of you have channels that are focused on Australian outdoors, on catching seafood, on wildlife. For each of you, what is the goal with your channel and what kind of message do you hope to get to your audience?
My channel is called Tascast. I teach people how to catch the fish that I catch and to remind people of conservation on those fish at the same time to make sure that we can fish into the future.
My social media channel, Tassie Adventure Man, and I predominantly do a lot of outdoor and underwater adventures. So a big part of my life and my social media is PTSD, anxiety, mental health. So I think it's really important for people to see that if you are having some of these illnesses, then you can still have a good life. Yeah, I'm just an everyday bloke, so do what I do and you'll enjoy it.
The best thing as well about everything that we do is it gets you out in nature, and to me, I'm the best possible version of myself when I'm on my boat fishing with a rod in my hand.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been incredible. It was good to get a little taste, and we got actually a lot more than just a little taste. And then from here, we're going big.
Might have to check out both of
Wow.
their YouTube channels. Might be some stuff worth reacting to.
I know.
We're embarking on a 3-hour drive across the island to its capital, Hobart. Here we'll tour a family-owned seafood factory where they do it all, from catching and processing to distributing to restaurants. We're here to indulge in some unexpected local favorites like shark meat.
Oh gosh, that looks lovely.
Have you tried shark meat before?
I actually have when I was younger. When I'm talking about way younger, probably like 10 to 12 years old. Randall's by my house, for whatever reason, like on the weekends, they would always have this fresh shark meat that was like already pre-battered and then this like really tasty batter. And so my dad would buy it and we would basically just, all you had to do was cook it, you know, it was already ready. And it was actually really good.
I really wanted to try shark meat. Like I've been wanting to go to this Chinese market, like and get some. And then I really wanted you to try it with me. Like seriously, let's do a challenge, like shark meat.
We should make a video of it.
Yes, for sure.
So you talking about like out in Bell, like
Yeah.
the main Chinese market?
Yes, exactly.
So we'd have to find a good recipe for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, is it like fish maybe?
I mean, you could probably cook it the same way as you could fish, but it's just like the way I think I had it was more of almost like a Cajun fish fry type of a way.
So you did it, you had
but
it
it was
fried?
so long ago, I don't really remember, but I think it was. I just remember like the seasoning is really what made it, because I've tried alligator, also fried alligator.
Yeah, alligator is good. I like it.
When I was real young also, and we were in Miami Beach, I think at Fountain Blue, which was, this is really weird to even say, I think we tried dolphin.
Dolphin?
Yeah, and
What?
I don't remember like if it was good or bad or whatever, but like this was like, we're talking about like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
or
we
more
should
than 30
definitely
years
taste
ago.
it and see.
Yeah, shark meat, we'll have to do it.
But first, a quick tour.
We love seafood, is essentially what we do.
Our guide, Jock Muir, third generation of Muir's fishing.
We fish probably pretty similarly to how you would have been down on the beach. We use hooks, but instead of one hook on a rod, we use auto long lines, set 500 metres deep, and we catch fish like Lua Trevella.
Why hook the fish and not throw out gigantic nets?
For us, it's all about quality. Hook caught fish, you're not getting that pressure on the fish. In a big net, if you're catching a ton of fish, you've got a ton of pressure pushing down on each fish.
Ruins the flesh.
And you ever have other countries intruding on your territory? New Zealand, Japan. Do you have cannons on your boat?
No, not quite that bad. It's all friendly.
For now. We're excited.
I love that this dude's wearing shorts with those giant rubber boots and then a hoodie.
Oh, I just noticed it.
I saw it earlier. I was like, they're going to have to cut to another scene where
You gotta keep safe, right? He doesn't want to slip. It's like very wet.
Yeah. I think I was assuming that it was probably like a refrigerated area, but now that I see it, it's probably not. But like everybody else looks like they're dressed warm.
I mean, they are.
And he's wearing
cleaning
shorts
it
and
up.
boots.
He was not prepared.
To see the rest of the factory and everything that happens here. I guess we could start with this. What is this station all about?
This is our main processing floor, so some of our team started at 11:30 last night and they'll work through to about midday. Easter week this week, big week for us.
Remember those giant lobsters from this morning? Well, Jock has a literal boatload of them right here.
First of all, how big is your biggest lobster?
We have a few about 3 kilo fish. We got a nice big one there.
Yeah.
To fill this gigantic tank, Jack orders lobsters from contractors all around Tasmania. Instead of catching them by hand, they trap the spiny crustaceans with baited cages.
Cray pots is what we call it. South coast of Tassie, west coast of Tassie, east coast, you can catch crayfish all around Tassie.
The one in your hand right now, if you had to guess, about how much would that cost?
In a fancy restaurant, you'd probably be paying $600, I reckon.
It's a lot of money for a meal, and I guess it's just so much work to get these.
$600.
Just one. It's like $600.
And
okay.
he just got one for free right there, fresh out of the water.
Exactly.
$600.
That's too much, but I mean, probably tastes like.
Well, they said 600. Their currency 400 hours, but still $400.
Yeah, I don't know the difference in their currencies, but.
Yeah, like let's see. It said,
Restaurant, you'd probably be paying $600.
yeah, so 400 our currency.
Okay.
I reckon.
It's a lot of money for a meal, and I guess it's just so much work to get these, right?
The demand for them can go through the roof, and that's what drives the price up really high.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep moving. I want to see what else you got.
Not a problem.
Fish and chips is typically made from cod or haddock, but Australia is not a typical place. And in just moments, we'll be trying fish and chips shark style.
So this is a mako shark, probably 70 kilos, I reckon, gilled and gutted.
Mako shark is a lightning-fast predator high up on the food chain, capable of reaching speeds up to 45 miles per hour.
How popular is eating shark in Australia?
They aggressively feed on a variety of marine species, including other sharks.
So I know there's a lot of people who are like against sharks, like eating sharks. But to me, I think it's more so it's like in a lot of the Asian cultures, they'll kill a shark just for the shark fin, and then they throw the whole rest of the shark back.
Why just the fin?
It's some sort of strange delicacy. But like they say that like
It has meat in it?
it's cartilage. It's
Just
like it doesn't
cartilage,
even
yeah,
it's
like-
not, it doesn't add any health benefits. There's nothing good about it. It doesn't do anything for you. It's just like this, and it's super expensive too. But if they're using here, this is different. They're using the full shark. They're using it for the
Yeah.
meat. They're not using it for the shark fin. Then I'm like, okay, it makes more sense.
To be more specific, like the challenge is for like the baby sharks, not a huge shark, okay, guys? Because that's too much meat. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, for us?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
we're not. No. We don't like. We don't even. We could just get shark fillet.
Yeah, because they do have like the small ones there. Like
'Cause I don't
it's a
want,
whole
like, a
one,
whole-
but it's like it's a small one. It's
Oh,
not
I don't
like
want. That makes me feel
big.
guilty because then I
Right?
feel like I'm
what?
eating a baby.
That could feed like so many people.
No, but I mean, if you said it's a baby shark, then
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like a yeah. They said are like small ones.
but then I feel like I'm eating a baby, so that's just kind of.
No.
Is the baby shark song gonna play?
Baby shark.
Fish and chips, everyone wants flake, and for most Australians, flake means shark. Gummy sharks, school sharks are very popular. Mako sharks up there as well.
Any market for this right here?
Lots of Asian markets love the fins. We don't do much of it ourselves here in Tassie, but we do send a bit over to the Melbourne markets.
Are you targeting to fish these, or is it considered bycatch?
This is a bycatch for us, so a lot of our bycatch, non-targeted fish is still really good, usable product like this shark here.
Do you understand what they're saying by bycatch?
No, I don't.
So they aren't actually fishing for sharks, but occasionally they'll get them. And so since they got them, they'll go ahead and utilize it. but they're not specifically going after them.
Oh, okay, good.
Pretty sure that's what that means by what he was just saying, but yeah.
Before we dive fork first into our impending seafood feast, how about a tantalizing teaser? Welcome to
The oyster room.
Mixed prison.
This is the Tasmanian Pacific oyster. These oysters, nurtured in the cool and nutrient-rich southern and eastern coastlines, are a sought-after delicacy worldwide.
How many are you shucking a day?
200 to 300 dozen.
300 dozen is 5 million? What is the secret to effectively shucking an oyster?
Every oyster's got a mussel at about 3 o'clock. So I go in there, turn my knife up to cut the mussel off the top lid, and then you scrape down to detach it from the bottom shell and flip it over and turn it so it's ready to eat straight out of the shell.
Wow. And he's doing that once every 6 seconds.
This guy's a machine. That's really good.
It has a natural sweetness and a natural saltiness.
Okay, so it actually looks different. Like, I don't know, like...
Because of the color?
Yeah, the color.
Because the ones from here are more grayish?
I think so, yeah, they are.
So the difference is when you're getting them from the Gulf of Mexico, our water is darker, and so they're filtering what is coming through them. This is what my assumption is. They're coming from a cleaner, clearer, fresher looking water, so maybe the color of the water and what they're filtering through themselves possibly makes a difference.
That's probably the thing, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we don't have crystal clear waters here. We have muddy waters.
Yeah, we don't. But I mean, that must be like really good. That looks good.
Difference of opinion, but okay. To me, it looks like a giant floggy booger or something. It looks like you sneezed that out. Yeah, it's not a question of should I. It's like, no, I'm not interested in it all. That's you all day long.
To it. And it's a nice size. I used to think bigger was better with oysters. Incorrect.
Really good condition these oysters are at the moment, so they're a beautiful oyster.
Very nice. Super delicious.
The only thing better than a lobster is another lobster, though instead of grilling, this one is steamed with a fleet of his friends. Here, an industrial-sized vat receives a collection of lobsters that steam for about 30 minutes. Normally, after steaming, they'd be chilled and delivered to local restaurants. But for us, they're cut in half by Chef Nathan, the mastermind behind 3 of Muir's seafood restaurants. With the addition of lemon and homemade aioli, this dish is complete.
Oi, gentlemen, this looks outstanding. The first thing I want to start with is this right here.
Go for it.
This thing is meaty.
There we go.
Wow. That is half a lobster tail. We have a lime and coriander aioli here. Aioli is like mayonnaise for rich people.
Cheers, enjoy.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's delicious. This is so juicy, it's plump.
I wonder if it's because of the size. Is there like an ideal size for a lobster? They're all pretty good.
I think the general public leans towards the smaller size. They do say when they get older, they get a little bit more tough, but it's also a high cost item, so people may go for a smaller size one.
That's what I would do. I would get the smaller one and be like, well, they taste better, actually. What is the difference, would you say, between this kind of lobster and something like Alaskan lobster?
The European or the Alaskan ones are a lot more refined in their texture. They're not as densely packed in with the flavor and the muscle structure here. I think these ones are a bit more of a wilder, kind of stronger sea creature.
Yeah, this is very dense.
It's got a bit more bite to it.
Yeah, it's a longer chew, yeah.
Course 2, an exhilarating encounter with a mako shark.
Okay, so we should like learn how to do it. Like maybe while they're cooking it, like we should like just like take some notes about how they're doing it, because the way they're cutting it looks perfect.
They're doing like it looks like flanks of steak almost.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks like they're about to do a fry style, which is I think similar to what I
the fry style. Yeah.
And plain flour, self-rising flour, dock cider, salt, pepper, tarragon, and fresh dill. Coat the shark fillet in plain flour, then a layer of the batter. Immerse it in sizzling hot oil until it transforms into a golden masterpiece with a crunchy batter that sings with flavor. To accompany the shark, plants.
I'm gonna crack a piece of this off. Oh gosh, that looks lovely. I'm always so fascinated by shark. The idea that people would even eat shark was something I didn't realize till I was maybe in my 30s. Cheers. Wow.
That's really good. It's not that flaky, much softer flesh, but the flavor is great.
You have a great crust on there, very delicate. The meat, it's almost on the side of being slightly mushy.
It sort of reminds me of the stingray we had in WA.
But when you mix that softer texture with the outer crunch, it's a nice combination. Can you tell me about this right here?
This is our blue-eye trevella. And this is actually a modernized recipe from the Muir's family recipe.
The blue-eye trevella is a large fish that can grow up to 3 feet in length. This deep-sea swimmer is cherished for its tasty flesh, and we're about to find out why. After the blue-eye trevella is filleted, it's seared, giving it a beautiful crust. Baste it with tarragon-infused butter, then transfer the fish to a baking tray. More butter, then let it finish in the oven.
I was just about to say it looked pink in the middle, but then they said they're going to finish it off in the oven.
Yeah.
Were you seeing that too?
Yes, I was like, they didn't cook it all the way.
Yeah.
More butter, then let it finish in the oven. Time to build our plate, starting with some delightful plants. A velvety lemon tarragon sauce and Tasmanian salmon roe. The fillet also gets a drizzle before tapping in. Finish off with olive oil and a crispy trevella skin cracker.
Oh, that's so good.
Completely different texture from the shark. It's so meaty.
You get these big scallops of a flake.
It's got a really sweet flavor.
That little bit of citrus and the creamy tarragon goes well with it.
Oh yeah, this is excellent. Mix that with the cracker, mix it with some veggies. Wow.
It's really a famous table fish for Tasmania right now. It's really versatile. So you can put it in a curry, you can pan fry it or grill it or barbecue, whatever you want to do with it.
Oh, it's like the tofu of fish.
Here in Tasmania, you guys are super blessed. This is ridiculous, the amount of different kinds of seafood we've tried. What's your favorite kind of ingredient to work with here?
I think the blue-eyed trevella is one of the most approachable fish. Also the lobster and abalone and things like that. We have a great variety of seafood down here that you don't get up on the east coast of Australia or far north. We've got a lot of native coastal ingredients. Even on my drive to work, I'm using just some local sea asparagus that are just in the little river system, and I can see that just pick some with the scissors, and they actually go on a couple of the dishes in the restaurant as well. There's food, and there's a whole food trail everywhere you go in Tasmania.
It's so abundant with life, with sea creatures. There's just so much here, yet only 500,000 people live here. Do you have any idea why that is?
We try to keep it a secret.
Boy.
People complain about the cold, but I've lived here my whole life, so I don't know any different. But it's beautiful, it's stunning. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And I've grown up diving for crays and fishing with Dad, and it's such a good lifestyle.
The last thing I want to know is, in spite of everything you do have here for food, are there foods that can't quite quench the palate of the people here? Are there things you have to import from other parts of Australia or other parts of the world, especially when it comes to seafood?
Prawns. Our water's too cold for a reliable prawn fishery down here, so that's a big hole we have to fill.
And definitely some vegetables. All in all, we focus more on the seasonality and the local produce down here because there's enough to put on menus, there's enough to go around all the supermarkets.
Yeah, I gotta say, we just came from Western Australia. It's completely different. The geography, the climate, the weather was brutal, hot, humid, and the same with the types of food you're gonna find is completely different too. So it's been refreshing to see how much diversity there is just in going to these two places in Australia. It's quite amazing. So, gentlemen,
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Elevate your style with our brand new clothing collection. Rock out in our threads, feel the thrill of culinary adventures, and celebrate with us in style. Head on over to beffers.shop today.
Not claustrophobic work, huh?
You've just got to remain calm. As soon as you start panicking, it's game over.
That's good motivation to not panic. We're sitting amongst the rocks because it looks kind of cool on camera. Not that practical. Not very comfortable at all.
How much of the year is it not good weather?
All the year.
Oh yeah, it's not good weather. It's pretty good now, man.
No, this is the one day.
Can we pull up a picture of a blue-eyed trevella? I'm talking to the editor. He's like, who the fuck is pulling up a picture?
I was expecting someone with a sign behind to pop up.
I'm going to be disappointed if you're not happy with the size of these because they are some of the biggest rock lobster I've seen.
I feel like I'm at a Tony Robbins event right now. Let's go! But for lobster. Boom! Guys, that is the end of our first video here in Tasmania. And man, this place is wild and we are just getting started. Stick around for more next week or whenever we publish again. Anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to my man, Andrew.
Thank you. That was fun. Lobster.
You can find Andrew on his YouTube channel right here. Right now, he has a series in Vietnam featuring the Katu ethnic minority group. It is food focused and has a lot of interesting cultural information. Go now to his YouTube channel to check it out. Otherwise, guys, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. How do we get out of here?
I know, this is a weird one, huh?
They should put a door.
Huh.
All the outtakes, that's pretty funny.
Wow. That was amazing.
So was this your first peek into Australian food culture, anything in general?
Yeah, actually, my brother was watching them, and then I only got to watch like part of it, and then as soon as I saw like those lobsters, those huge lobsters, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Like I definitely should react to this video, you know. But that was a while back, and then I've had this in my mind, like Australian lobsters, huge lobsters. So I was like, yeah, definitely, yeah, but.
I've done quite a few on Australia, but you know the fact that they were in Tasmania was kind of cool because it's like a different subset of the Australian culture, and then obviously it's different foods and stuff too. So when you watch things on Australia, there's a lot of Asian Chinese influence in their food, and then it's more of like typical food, right? So this was a little bit more unique. So yeah, it was cool. I'm glad you suggested this one. We didn't know which one we were going to watch. All I know is she was like, hey, let's do some more reaction videos, and I want to do Australia lobsters. And I was like, okay. So we just found one of the first ones we could find, and
I hope y'all liked it.
yeah, I liked it. It was good, and I've watched a handful of videos from this YouTuber, so I already knew that the content would probably be good. So yeah. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. It does help. If you're new here and you want to see more from me and when Stephanie's visiting, subscribe, click the bell so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. And if there's a country, a culture, or a food, or something that perhaps I should be reacting to, tell me in the comments. Let me know what other regions of the world I should react to, and if you have anything specific about them, I should try to find and do a reaction to. So yeah, and thank you, Stephanie, for coming and doing another video with me.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to see more from this series, we are going to film about 5 or 6 of these, and I'll be releasing them over the next couple of days. So yeah, so definitely keep checking back. We've got Japan, I think, is on the list.
Japan, India.
Brazil, Bali, and Greece, I think. Yeah, so that's what we have coming up in the next week or so. So yeah, we'll wrap it here, and we will see you guys in the next video. Later.
Bye, later.